Hey everyone, Blue Goblin here. Welcome to my latest comic book review for this week in December 2009. We're going to do two installments here. We're going to do a two-parter video. I haven't done two-parters in a while. I want to know if I still got the hang of it. Here in part one, we're going to talk about just regular books that came out this week from both DC and Marvel. And in part two, we're going to look at everything Blackest Night. So stick around for that. And I want to thank you all for watching, whether you're watching from YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter. And remember, you can also catch written comic book reviews from me on comiccrazyreviews.webs.com. I'll put the link in the side, so you can check that out whenever you feel like it. But let's get started with the reviews this week here for part one. We're going to start with Red Robin number 7. Oh wow. This book far exceeded my expectations. You know, with everything Chris Yost has been doing here, writing stories about, fleshing out Tim Drake's new persona as Red Robin. I'm loving it. It's really, really good. The artwork from Marcus 2 is incredible as well. This is a Gotham City related title, or a Batman related title, excuse me, that you should get behind. It's fantastically well put together, and the cliffhanger at the end of this issue blew me away. I'm like, whoa, I gotta get issue 8. I got to. Do yourselves a favor and read that book. I think you'll be impressed. It's not the most impressive title in comic books, but it's definitely worth reading. I suggest you pick it up. Alright, we're going all Marvel now. Let's go Amazing Spider-Man 614. This is the conclusion of Electro story with the Gauntlet, and it wraps up pretty nicely for me. I got to agree with Mr. Corum at Comic Crazy Reviews. I got to agree with him. The artwork could use a little sprucing up, but at least it's not as bad as the Deadpool tie-in with Amazing Spider-Man. I got to say, though, I was pleasantly impressed with how well the Electro storyline concluded. Little twist in the end involving Dexter Bennett and J. Jonah Jameson. Not going to spoil it. It's not really that big of a deal, but it's just at the end of this book, you're looking at Peter Parker and Betty Brant talking to each other, and you're just like, yeah. It's not really that big of a deal, but I'm still not going to spoil it. I don't like to spoil anything for any fans unless, you know me, the story absolutely sucks. Then I'll spoil it, but I'm not going to spoil this book because it didn't suck. I thoroughly suggest you pick this up. It's well worth the $2.99. It's a nice conclusion to Electro's story. That's all I can say, really. All right, XMen Noir, Mark of Cain, number 1. Fred Van Lente and Dennis Calero. Hope I pronounced Dennis Calero's name right. This is the beginning of the second volume of the XMen Noir series, and this is alright. It's pretty good. I gotta think about this. Is this so far better than XMen Noir's first run? Probably not, but I still say it's worth reading. I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, if you did not like X-Men Noir's first volume, odds are you're probably not going to like this one either, because it follows, it follows after the X-Men Noir first run, and it picks up right after that. So if you didn't read the first volume, you're not going to get this at all. But some interesting twists, some interesting development here with the characters and everything. You see the names, and if you're an X-Men fan, you know who these people are, you know who the characters are, you just got to try to picture how they would look in a noir sense. You got Emma Frost coming in, Cain Marco coming in, you got, Charles Xavier has been released from prison. I'll go ahead and spoil that little thing right there. And the last page, I went, okay, that's interesting. Looking forward to issue 2. I'd say buy it. Go right ahead. I think it's worth reading. Give it a shot. All right, last up. Punisher Noir wraps up with issue 4 here. And, oh man, I'm impressed. I will not lie. Now, when it comes to Punisher Noir, let me bring back some history on some previous blogs that I've been doing. If you've been keeping up with me, you would know that I said Punisher Noir issue number 1 was just flat out dull. It sucked. I didn't like it at all. And then when I read issues 2 and 3, and I went, okay, here we go. Now they're getting it right. And the way this story ends, I'm loving it. Good stuff, good action. There are a couple of moments where you just want to go, ooh, with the Russian and everything, ooh. Yeah, good stuff here from, hang on. They only put the last names here. I want to give them full credit. Just 1 second. Frank Thierry and Antonio Fuso. I hope I pronounced those names right. They did the work for this book. Very, very fantastic work here from Marvel. But before I end this part, I got to say something about the Noir series. I'm almost now that the Noir series are taking off, I'm almost afraid that Marvel's going to overkill this gimmick. They're going to start slapping out more and more and more and more Noir series, and I'm afraid it's going to go into overkill like Deadpool, like Wolverine. Don't do it, Marvel. If you've got a good gimmick, don't oversaturate it, or the fans will get sick of it. Case in point, Marvel Zombies. But with that little small criticism aside, Punisher Noir, probably the best Marvel book this week. I say go ahead and buy it. Definitely worth your $4. I don't think you'll complain. I like the story. It's really, really well done. Well, I better quit rambling because you're waiting for part 2 with Blackest Night, aren't you? Of course you are. But if you didn't pick up anything Blackest Night, those are some books I suggest you might want to pick up. Well, that's it for part 1. Thanks for watching, everybody, and until part 2 comes along, I'll see you later.